Ja, tasty pelletier yenishe, ma idish gijni nishli, billigana bashashin, kinla chitni dashache, billigana dashanale. Welcome back to Resball, and this time we're talking about Duke, guard slash wing Kon Knueppel. Fantastic player, super efficient. He's going to be in a tier that I like to call just trust the production, just trust the film, because there are some things that are going to be deficient. Not the quote unquote sexiest player, which we'll get into here, but Kon Knueppel, believe in Kon Knueppel, very, very good basketball player. Let's get into Kon Knueppel right about now. Every time I talk about Kon Knueppel, I almost want to say Wisconsin guard because he's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and so much of the background and stuff that I know about Kon and watching film and stuff is from Wisconsin. So apologies if that does come up. Kon Knueppel's from Milwaukee in Wisconsin, went to Wisconsin Lutheran High School, where as a senior, Kon Knueppel posted 26.4 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, had 5.1 assists per game, helped Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings to a 30-0 record, a state title, and ended up being Mr. Wisconsin basketball. This is another guy that doesn't get talked about enough in terms of basketball family. Funny because I do group Kon Knueppel in with Jace Richardson, who his dad is Jason Richardson, and that's a guy that everybody talks about family, obviously. But number one, Kon Knueppel does have an NBA family member with his uncle, who's his mom's brother, Jeff Nordgaard, who was a second round pick from the Bucks in the 90s, I believe. Played only about one season there, 13 games, but had NBA experience. So has one family member in the NBA. His dad, however, Kon Knueppel's dad, is the all-time leading scorer at Wisconsin Lutheran College, and his mom is the all-time leading scorer at Wisconsin Green Bay. So you want to talk about a basketball family? There you go. Two all-time leading scorers are your mom and your dad. So a lot of what's going to come up with Kon Knueppel is like, man, this guy just knows what to do. Super sound fundamentally basketball wise. And to top that all off, this is just a funny fact. I forget whose 3-on-3 tournament Kon's dad and his brothers all played together. So it's the 3-on-3, the two brothers and his dad, and they were the Flying Knueppel brothers in that 3-on-3 tournament. I just thought that name was funny and nice fun fact there for Kon Knueppel. So let's get into the stats and all that stuff with Kon here. Kon Knueppel in his one season this past season at Duke, 14.4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, dished out 2.7 assists, 1 steal per game, 0.2 blocks per game, and then 1.4 turnovers per game. Shooting splits for Kon Knueppel were 56.7% from 2-point range, 40.6% from 3-point range, and then 91.4% from the free throw line. Yes, this is a 50, 40, 90 guy. Everybody, since Kon had the spotlight on him, said this is a super efficient guy, an elite 3-point shooter. And then you got the 50, 40, 90 split. Again, 56.7% from two, 40.6% from three, and then 91.4% from the free throw line. Let's look at those totals as well. I mean, you already know the true shooting percentage is going to be good, but I think every time you have somebody that has a 50, 40, 90 split like this, look at the total number of shots, because sometimes we can be like, oh, they didn't have this many shots. I mean, 50, 40, 90 is hard no matter the volume of shots you put up, but it's still good to know, like, okay, are they overline on this? Like, where's their main thing? So 378 total shots. So both from three and from two, 378 total shots. You're looking at 171 2-point attempts, 201 3-point attempts, and then 128 shots from the free throw line. So over 120 attempts from two, from the free throw line, and from three. The 3-point attempt rate ended up being 54.8%, which is good. You do want Kon to mainly be a 3-point shooter. And then, as I said before, the true shooting percentage is obviously going to be stellar with a 50, 40, 90 split, 64.2%. Fantastic. The free throw attempt rate ended up being 33.9%. Assist rate ended up being 15.7%. Turnover rate of 10.8%, all on a usage of 21.4%. Yes, Kon was pretty much like the second-ish option at Duke. Probably I would lean more toward like Tyrese Proctor, handling more of the secondary actual creation duties since he's the upperclassman. But when things weren't happening for Coop, when he needed to kick it out to somebody, it was Kon. And Kon was the second leading scorer for this Duke squad. Definitely stepped up to the table. and why this Duke squad was so good. And they ended up making it further than most teams led by freshmen. I mean, 3 of the top 5 guys were freshmen: Kon Knueppel, Kamon Malawach, and then Cooper Flagg. And then you got Tyrese Proctor in there as a junior, and then insert Sion James, other dudes that are in there occasionally as the 5th guy. It's because both Kon and Coop, number one, I mean, Coop, as we said before, undisputed number one this year, fantastic two-way player. Very rare you see the size and the skill along with the hustle and the competitive fire. And then Kon, the number one thing. Yes, Kon is athletically limited. Yes, if you look at him in high school, you're like, who is this fat white kid? I heard that quite a bit. And to be honest, he was not in the best of shape, but then immediately comes to Duke, drops a lot of poundage, and looks like an athlete. And why this tier is trust the film, trust the production. Again, 50, 40, 90, second leading scorer for a Duke squad that ended up making a deep tournament run. Can generate free throws. The assist rate was over 15.7%. The turnover rate was right at 10.8%, and the totals on that were 107 assists to 53 turnovers. So you got a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. You have 50, 40, 90 split. 40 steals is the other thing, average steal per game. All of it screams like you just got to trust this guy. I know like the athletic testing isn't great. The measurements at the combine were 6'5" flat without shoes. So he is 6'5" without shoes. So we're talking 6'6" in shoes, 219 pounds, and then 6'6.25" wingspan. So just a little bit bigger than his height. But you put on the film, and Kon had a lot of tough defensive assignments. A lot of times had to handle the top perimeter assignment. I mean, the Duke squad wasn't exactly loaded with perimeter defenders here, and they didn't hide Kon either. It did help, excuse me, that Kaman Malawach is there to clean up on the back end. It did help, obviously, that Cooper Flagg, the best overall defensive prospect in the draft, is there. But Kon absolutely knew how to play his role and like shut some dudes down throughout the year. And then Sion James, Isaiah Evans, Caleb Foster. Surprised this team didn't use Malik Brown more than I thought they would, as Malik Brown might have been the best like pure defender in college basketball. He ended up only being like the 9th man. Kon played the most minutes on this Duke squad too. Let that not go unnoticed. I think the conditioning and the like, is he in shape questions came into the year just because, you know, looks like a pudgy white kid. But how he got himself in shape, like I can't remember a time really where Kon missed significant time. And then this season, 39 games. He was the Iron Man of the Duke squad for sure. Again, trust the production, trust the film. You don't see, even though you're like, okay, yeah, he's actually 6'6". Okay, he's like 220. That's good. I don't know about the wingspan. You're like, yeah, turn on the tape. Like he's not getting shook. Sure, he might get out quick, but there's not a game where he's being exposed. Nobody picked on Kon Knueppel and made Duke lose a game because he couldn't hang on defense. I go to bat for Kon Knueppel. Absolutely 100%, no doubt a top 10 pick. There's a reason why people, when Philadelphia got number 3, were like, hey, they should go with Kon if they're just going to stick with the guys they have if they believe PG, Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey can all be healthy, because this is a guy, like I said, 50, 40, 90, has always been a fantastic shooter. That's his number one MO thing. Got to the free throw line at a good rate for a supplementary dude, 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and he didn't get cooked on defense. It's like that's the reason why. Again, I wouldn't necessarily agree with it, but I would not absolutely fight it. At number 3, yes, you should start thinking about Kon Knueppel. I have Kon Knueppel at 7. That's only because I do think the comp that I'm going to give you here is Desmond Bane. Like, that's who I see when I see Kon Knueppel a lot of times. Same thing, big muscular guy, fantastic shooter. That's his MO. Better ball handler, better secondary creator than what a lot of people thought. I mean, there's a reason why Desmond Bane went later in the first round, but it came into the NBA and all that stuff just worked. And yes, he still does kind of suck on defense. I think that is going to be a thing with Kon, but also like it depends on the situation you put him in. Why the Philadelphia argument has been there for so long is that he's protected already. PG there, if he's focused and locked in, there's your athletic wing defender. Embiid won MVP for crying out loud. I don't have to tell you how good Embiid is on defense. And then you just fill in the gaps with the other supplementary defensive role players while also drafting a guy that can come in immediately and get buckets and fit in there as like the fourth starter and fits in already well with the Tyrese Maxey, who's maybe the best 3-point shooter in the league behind Stephen Curry right now, is the exact kind of role player you want next to a PG and an Embiid. Like it just makes sense. And especially in this draft where so many people are like, well, I don't know about this talent outside the top three. It's like, this is why Kon Knueppel is making the jump because the production is great. The efficiency is better than anybody on the perimeter. The turnovers and the assists show he can still be a secondary playmaker while also getting to the line. And you put on that defensive tape where you're like, he's still the slow white guy, even the ground in shape. It's like, yeah, but how come that stuff didn't show up on film? And you look at the shot chart. The shot chart, the quote unquote bad spot is at the rim, 103 shots. He sank 64 of them, and Kon Knueppel shot 62.1% at the rim. That's good. That is a good percentage for somebody that, again, is supposed to be athletically limited. That's quote unquote not supposed to be his game, but he got there 103 times. Duke's secondary scorer when things weren't happening for Coop, like Kon kept it on. And somebody who knows my number one weapon is my 3-point shot and then knows how to leverage that to get inside. Also, a Daryl Morey special for certain. Only took 14 shots in the mid range. Again, you would think that the white guy with the jump shot is going to operate in the mid range since he doesn't have the athleticism to get to the rim. What he does have is a full offensive bag. Sure, he's not like shaking you with a handle or anything, but being 220, like he will stick his ass into you and back you down. Any mismatch he's going to take advantage of. Kon in the high school tape, like that's something that really stuck out to me. It was like, dude, this guy's got a post game, and I want to say I was a little worried that he was going to lose too much weight because I think that was a big part of his game coming up. Was just like, man, he really knows how to use his country strength, the Wisconsin cheese strength here to take advantage of mismatches and even face up. I think any guard that's too small, any guard that doesn't want to handle physicality, Kon is more than happy to take advantage of that. It's how he gets to the rim 103 times. That's how he gets in the paint 54 times. And in the paint, he sank 25 of 54 shots, 46.3%. Very good. Obviously, 50-40-90 guy, he has good touch, runner floater game, can do some turnaround stuff, has the post game, has all these things to where when he gets down there, down low, he's going to take advantage of the mismatch and finish that thing. Again, only 14 shots in the mid range for Kon Knueppel. I don't care if he ever has a mid range game. If you're arguing for a mid range game from this guy, like you're out of your mind. He's already as efficient as you want any prospect to be, while also having like the modern game, right? And eliminate the mid range shots. How many prospects like out there do people go, oh, I want him to shoot the shot? You don't have to say that with Kon Knueppel. And then 144 shots on above the break threes, 37.5%. From the corners, 30 of 62. Thank God he took that many corner 3-point shots. Is going to be elite from the corners. If a team doesn't buy into the athleticism and on-ball stuff, well, he was 12 of 24 from one corner. That's 50% for those of you that graduated elementary school and third grade math. And then 18 of 38 from the right corner, 47.4%. Those are elite numbers and good numbers that have a volume you bind to 24 on one side, 38 from the other. Around the above the break threes, the bad quote unquote part is from right wing, 18 of 52, 34.6%. The better one is 16 of 43 from top of the key, 37.2%. And then the best one is from the left wing, 20 of 49 for 40.8%. So think about that. I mean, if he just hits like 2 or 3 more shots from that right wing, he could be even better. We're talking like a 42% 3-point shooter when he's already 50-40-90 guy. You can see here where it's like, man, he's already elite from the corners. We see these 2 areas where he's really good, and it's really that one side, or even then, it's nothing of concern. How many guys have we looked at now where nobody has at least like 34 or better percent from the entire 3-point arc? Well, Kon is one of those few guys for certain, and you can buy into with that jumper. And even at the very minimum, it's why I have him at 7 is because, like, okay, you don't buy into anything else other than jump shot. This is an elite 3-point shooter who's a legitimate 6'6", 220. Like, if you don't believe Kon could be a Duncan Robinson, if you don't believe Kon could be a Malik Beasley, if you don't believe Kon Knueppel could be a Cam Johnson, I don't know what to tell you. And I understand all three of those guys are very different. Like Malik Beasley does a little bit more on ball stuff with the Pistons in last year. Duncan Robinson is obviously the elite off ball movement shooter. And the Cam Johnson is basically like the catch and shoot forward. But I think Khan could do all three of those things depending on the lineup. You want to talk about positionless basketball? Yes, Khan can fill in all those roles, and it just depends on who else you have around him and what else you want to do. Like, obviously, Denver doesn't have a pick this year, but like, this is a prospect that if somehow Denver got their hands on, it's like, oh boy, watch out. Because then you don't have to really worry about having a point guard with Jokic and that stuff. Or like, if his hometown Milwaukee Bucks and they kept Giannis, had their hands on him, exact perfect kind of player that's around a Giannis. Any gigantic playmaker, any team that already has that, like you absolutely would be falling all over yourselves to get this guy that at the very minimum is going to be an elite 3-point shooter as well. As I said before, Kon Knueppel to me Ryan reminds me almost of Desmond Bane. That's why I have him in the top 7. If you want to take him at 3, absolutely logical argument, especially if you don't buy an Ace Bailey and you think he's too mercurial or you're not sold on him being efficient. You're like, okay, somebody like VJ Edgecombe, not going to be a creator, is more of a role player. You want to buy into somebody that could be a secondary creator, maybe even a third creator, while being one of the most efficient guys ever. Easy to argue for Kon Knueppel in the top 5, but I still have him at 7 just because I think the defense will be there and he'll be more of that Desmond Bane, who, again, fantastic player. But when he's the featured guy, if he's being relied upon to try and defend the best other perimeter players in the NBA, it's still good. It's just not the best it could be. Few things to look at here with Kon Knueppel is a nice breakdown from Hoop Intellect on YouTube. Hoop Intellect always does great stuff. My guy, Hardwood Hoop Central NBA Draft Green Room, did a great breakdown of him as well. ACC Digital Network, again, a lot of these guys are starting to do these bigger conferences are starting to do NBA draft tape on it. And then the last two, CBS 58, I think that's over in Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Hometown athlete Kon Knueppel preps for life-changing lottery pick this month. A nice little 2-minute interview with him. And then the final one is from Hoop Dungeon. How good is Kon Knueppel actually? I think a lot of people are asking that question, and it's a good video to look at to try and answer that question. So yeah, believe in Kon Knueppel, man. Believe in the production. Believe in the tape. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to us. We'll catch you next time. Go on it.